The world of marketing and PR has turned into quite the frenzy, and it's not easy to navigate the ever-changing landscape. Join me in my journey to learn from the best, as some of the world's top marketing and PR professionals share their stories on ways you can harness these changes to grow your brand. It's time to fuel the frenzy. Hello and welcome to Fuel the Frenzy, our next podcast series that we have going on right now, and it's very great to have a really special guest with me in the studio today, Tripp Crosby. Tripp, welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
Fabulous to see you again. The last time I saw you, you were shooting T-shirts across the room at Venture Atlanta.
Across the room is a stretch because the gun didn't work, if you remember.
I do remember that.
They just kind of dribbled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
Thank
and
you.
you are funny,
Thank you.
and that's why I wanted you on the show, because I like funny people.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But Tripp, why don't you give a little bit of intro about yourself and let people know, what you do and what company you have and things like that.
Okay. By the way, having to just summarize yourself is the worst thing.
It's hard, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Give me the highlights.
The highlights. So most people would know me as half of a comedic duo called Tripp and Tyler, and we make YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
We also work with brands to create content using our sketch comedy as a way to integrate brands, and we sell sponsorships and we do commercials and all kinds of things. We'll talk about that, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the production company behind those sketches is a production company I've had for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Green Tricycle Studios, and we do all kinds of content, even outside of Tripp and Tyler jobs. So my life is basically running that company, writing with Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally I'll do appearances and perform, usually in the form of a host. That's
how I saw you. Yeah.
I didn't know that hosting was a career option, but ever since 6 or 7 years ago, when people started inviting me to things, I've fallen in love with it. And so I love going around. I go all over and I host corporate events, and I get to meet the greatest people and find out all kinds of things about businesses and brands and companies that I would have never known. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's great. What a variety you do every day. That's really nice. Running a business, you're also creative, create content, and you get to speak about it, and people send you around the country to do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I am very happy, and I consider myself very lucky to have a job that I love.
Yeah, that's really important. So Tripp, I think what people I might be wrong in saying this, but I know how I best found out about you was obviously the conference call video, and it definitely did go viral.
Yeah.
And I know there's a story behind that conference call video, like even how you even got to that, went on that journey. And I think for people, if you haven't checked out the conference call video, if you even just type it, you Google the conference call video. It's
a conference call in real life is the official title, but.
It's the best corporate B2B video I have ever watched. Okay, and I have shared it, and I promise you.
It's a bold statement.
Yeah, and I'm picky about
it's
content.
One of like three.
Yeah, and I watched all the others, and the others were funny.
Okay.
But this one I think when you can resonate with something, and I have done conference calls since the age of 22, and I'm like, I've seen everything. So,
it came from a real place.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah, and I think that's so. Tell us that journey a little bit about how you got to that point.
I'll give you the highlight reel. So when I was young and stupid and 22 years old or something like that, and I tried to start this production company, I quickly learned that I hated it.
Right.
Because I didn't like these boring little corporate videos that I was getting hired to do. So my friends and I would make funny sketches on the weekends. We had nothing else to do at the time. None of us were married. None of us had kids. And then YouTube happened. This is around 2005 or 2006. And we put a few pieces of content on YouTube. And one morning I woke up to 10,000 emails in my inbox. And they were refreshing as fast as I could click. And then they would just go click down the screen. Yeah. So we had a viral video. It was called Things You Can't Do When You're Not in a Pool.
Oh, I need to have a look at that.
Yeah, it's a really silly sketch where Tyler is just in Virginia Highlands acting like a person would act only if they were in a swimming pool.
Right.
It's really silly.
It sounds
but it
silly.
went massively viral. And that kind of launched this career for us in making funny videos. And for the first few years, that took shape in the form of mostly events. Events would hire us to make funny videos to show their audiences, which kind of is how the hosting career happened.
So
and that was great.
The video could be about anything. It was just funny. It got things going. It
One time we made some content for an event. I believe the brand was Acuity Brands. They're a big lighting company here in Atlanta, and their theme was the number 5. So we made a video called High Five Etiquette and 5 things you can't do when you're not a dog. And so what we would do is we would make these videos for people, and we would make sure they gave us the rights to them, and we'd re-edit them and put them on our YouTube channel.
And at the time, YouTube obviously was probably lacking, didn't have nothing
just
like the
growing.
content it has now.
No. I mean, when I say our first video went viral, it had 2 million views, which was massive at the time.
Yeah, now that
2 million views is like,
yeah.
That's child's play.
I could do better,
Yeah, and you could. I mean, people just throw up a camera and talk about celebrity news now and get 2 million views a day.
But back then, that was significant. Yeah,
it was. And so fast forward a few years later, and the more we were doing videos for companies, the more things started to evolve towards us making the videos they wanted us to make. And we were kind of getting away from making the content that we wanted to make. And so we thought, we've got an audience now. We've got YouTube subscribers. What if we just came up with ideas first and then turned the pre-roll ads off and asked companies for money to pay us directly so that we could then pitch their brand at the end of the video.
Right.
It's a win-win.
Because you've got the reach.
Yeah, and our audience will love it. They don't have to skip ads.
Yeah.
You know, and at the time, skipping ads was really annoying. I don't think people mind anymore. It's just people are so used to it. But at the time, it was really annoying, and we thought our audience is going to love this because they can just stop the video if they want at the end. The brand is going to love it. So we had this idea that we'd been sitting on for a long time about conference calls. And I thought, this is perfect. Some company will want to have their name at the end of this video.
I agree.
I went to a company called Giant Impact. I'd been hosting events for them for years. They have an event called LeaderCast.
Oh, yeah.
It happens here
very well.
in Atlanta. And I said, hey, give us some money, and I'll advertise the event at the end of the video. And as you know, the video was an overnight success.
So good.
It blew up, and it actually... it helped LeaderCast, but it also hurt them because their sales department wasn't big enough to handle the amount of requests coming in.
Right.
So it blew up even bigger than we thought, which fortunately for us enabled us from then until now. I guess that was 4 years ago. Now we've just been selling sponsorships, and we go to companies with new ideas and ask for money, and some of them give us money. And then we pitch their brand at the end.
Okay.
That's how we got here.
Okay, that's interesting.
Was that too long?
No, I love it.
Are you sure? I'm feeling like I talked too much.
No, because people want to understand the background, and I like that. So,
Okay.
so where, so that's an example of branded content.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier about branded content is many things.
Yes.
But I mean, what advice can you give to, we're in a climate right now where B2B marketers, I'm talking mainly B2B marketers right now, are, they don't know how to even cut through the noise. And content.
So much.
There's so much content. And, I've even read something yesterday where people just don't even question the value of content anymore. Where it's like,
I know.
Because don't send me another infographic. I don't want to see it. Please don't share any book with me. I'm
Please
bored.
stop calling me and asking me to make the Dollar Shave Club commercial.
Yeah. I don't.
We get one of those a week.
Really? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone wants that because it's about the brand and it's still funny. Yeah. And they know that the guys did it really cheaply.
Right. Okay. So you're an interesting person and got an interesting company because you do creative things.
Yeah.
And maybe the marketing world needs more creativity. Maybe we're getting in the way.
I have some great advice.
Okay.
I'm talking to B2B marketers, right?
Okay. Yeah.
My advice would be to please get out of the way of the creative talent.
Right.
We work with a lot of agencies and brands and internal marketing people, and they always want us to make something that will cut through the noise. And I promise, if the actual entertainment talent of the world is having a hard time cutting through the noise,
Yeah.
you're really not going to be able to do it. There's a reason you're a marketer and not an entertainer. And so I would say take risks.
Yeah.
If you completely understand the idea that the creator brings to you, then that's a bad thing. That means it's not good enough.
Yeah.
You should find someone that has a track record, who's made great content. Make them come up with an idea they are excited about. And then take a risk.
Yeah.
And you may have to take a few risks, but you're not going to cut through the noise if it's an idea that is so perfect on paper and fits all the strategic goals and mentions the brand at the right way, and it shows the person on the computer using the app, and then the person using the other brand is all sad and like.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You can't do that and cut through the noise.
Right. But and you can understand why that's hard for marketing people, because they get given a budget and they say, raise the visibility of our brand and obviously align it to our brand values.
Yeah.
So how do you address that piece? Because, you know, if we're given pure creative freedom, how do we know it's going to align to the brand? Or
aligning to the brand is, it's just it exhausts me. It's like
bad statement.
No, I hear it so much because I get it. It's important. You don't want to create something that's bad for your brand.
No.
But I think you can get so obsessed with too many of the nuances that you end up diluting a really creative idea. I mean, a conference call in real life was sponsored by an event company, and our video had nothing to do. But guess what we got? Eyeballs in the corporate audience. And you know who figured this out a long time ago? All of the beer commercials that make videos about. They make commercials about football and guys acting dumb, and it's not even about beer.
Yeah.
And I remember having those conversations 10, 15 years ago, like that wasn't even why the commercial wasn't even about the product. Yeah, it was about their audience. And brands that we work with, especially in the marketing world, they're too obsessed with themselves.
Right.
And they need to be obsessed with their audience.
No, I agree. That's something we hear a lot. Yeah. That's really interesting.
Sorry, I just gave redundant content. You should have seen my delivery. It felt so brilliant, but then I just gave you something that everyone else already gave you.
No, I mean, no, you haven't. I haven't ever heard somebody say, you know, give us creative freedom. And I mean, I listen to marketing people all the time. They're my clients, and you know, I understand the fact that they, you know, and it is a traditional form of thought, which is make it align to the brand.
Yeah.
You're saying the opposite. Let's be creative.
Yeah.
We can get you eyeballs. And I think, I mean, but the beer situation, just going back to that point, is, I mean, you know, it's about, they are selling beer, but they're selling a lifestyle around it. So they can get away with doing silly commercials about, you know, but brands have to be a little bit careful, because there has to be surely some correlation.
But I mean, we worked with a company who we really enjoyed working with called Zoom. They're a telecommunication company. They specialize in the video conferencing technology. We made a video for them about golf, and they see it as one of the more successful pieces of content.
Right.
We even made one for them about video conferencing, but they said when they would go to conferences and trade shows, people would come up and say, "You guys are the golf video people."
Wow, that's great. That's what they got known for. Yeah.
So I get it. And believe me, as a content creator, we'll make what you want us to make. If you hand me money, I will make whatever you want. And you can talk me into it, and you can tell me about your strategies and your alignment and why this has to be this and that. We'll do it. But if you want to cut through the noise, that's different.
Yeah, and people do. People do. And I just don't know how... how are things going to be looking in another 12 to 18 months when it comes to content?
I don't know. We have to reinvent our business every 6 months, it feels like.
Yeah.
Because YouTube changes, Facebook changes. Facebook's about to come out with their new video platform. I think it just launched. YouTube algorithm has changed. It doesn't even favor content like ours anymore.
Right.
So
what's it favoring now?
It favors quantity over quality.
Right.
So the guys that have the daily vlogs who are putting out content every day, their subscribers mean more to them. If you're familiar with YouTube, subscribers don't necessarily mean as much because it's more like Facebook. So a person, when they log on, their feed isn't necessarily filled with content made by the people they've subscribed to. It's filled with content that YouTube thinks they want based on this complicated algorithm.
Right.
And just like everyone's familiar with the way that works on Facebook, you put a post up, your friends aren't all going to see it. It just depends on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So we don't do quantity because we focus on production value and scripted creative content. So that's actually a hurdle for us right now and we end up selling more media distribution plans along with our content because you can't just get the organic reach because the idea is good like you used to.
Yeah.
It still has to be good, but it's not as easy.
No. So that even makes, that's another challenge. So even when you've got really good eyeball content, you now don't even have a platform where you're going to get guaranteed eyeballs.
No, I mean, guys like us don't. There are certainly YouTubers
unless you
much
collaborate with YouTubers.
Yeah, and that's where things are headed. These Instagram stars, Snapchat,
they're
YouTube,
making a lot of money from.
And those guys, I'm so jealous because they don't care about the production value as much. Their productions are so cheap, so they get to pocket all their money, and we spend most of ours.
I know, it's the complete opposite of what they're doing. They literally are holding up an iPhone.
Yeah. I'm actually going to be relaunching a vlog in January because of this, because I find that I need to be putting out more content, and I need to just forget about it being perfect every time and just talk to the camera.
Yeah. So what are you going to use?
What do you mean?
You're going to use an iPhone and just literally...
No, I have...
You're going to have some type of... Okay.
I'm going to have decent equipment because we have it.
Yeah.
But it's got to be something that's portable.
Yeah, no, you're right. And you're going to be candid on it. Are you just going to share points of view? And
I got to have a person on my staff that's just always editing this content. It's got to be constant.
I'm going to follow you because I find you funny, Tripp.
Thank you.
I mean, you are.
Listen to how hilarious I've been so far.
You've just
had
some
zingers here.
It's like he's on his third coffee. He's just had a baby, second baby. So, you're...
My wife had the baby.
Well, yeah, that's true. Because you're looking really good.
I had the easy part.
So it's a struggle for content create. Well, it sounds like a struggle for marketing people and creative content people. So I just wonder what advice we can give to marketers because, I would love to say, go out and be creative and take risks and I think they should, but there's a budget and then you got to convince the people above.
You got to convince those old guys who know nothing about this
world. Who don't want to take a risk.
Do you know how many great ideas we have had turned down by the superiors like weeks in once we sell the marketing team on it and then they got to go get approval and it doesn't happen and then we end up making some
not what you want.
Yeah. I mean, you do have to take risks, but I personally, I think what stands the test of time are all the things like customer service and referral marketing. I just,
those things.
We still depend on that because content is getting a little inflated right now.
No, I agree with you.
And so we, even as a content creating company, we depend on building good relationships with a few great clients that we know will want to come back.
Yeah, no, that's important.
Yeah.
So what's your view on, I mean, you guys are content creators, you specialized in video.
Yeah.
And obviously what's getting a lot of hype now in terms of content is virtual reality.
Yeah.
Augmented reality.
Oh, yeah.
Categorized under immersive storytelling. So what's your view on that? I mean, is that something you're gonna look at?
I think it's really fun. I have a virtual reality headset at home, but I don't plan on making any.
No.
Our background, we're basically filmmakers. We want to make movies and TV shows, and YouTube content. That's where we're going to focus. Even if we become very poor doing it, I know that's what we're going to do.
Right. Okay.
That's
good. But sticking to what you love and what you're good at is important.
The only reason a conference call in real life was viral is because it was a piece of content that it came from a real place. Yeah. I'm not trying to be too deep here.
No.
But it actually was birthed out of a legitimate frustration in our life.
Yeah.
And looking back on any of our successes, all of them have derived out of something real.
Yeah.
And we want to go back as much as we can to creating out of that place.
Be authentic to what is important to you guys. And
right.
Yeah, I mean, you really, I mean, I don't mean to harp on about the conference call video, but it is amazing how you managed to bring alive obviously the worst case scenario of a conference call, but anyone who's been in the professional corporate world has experienced those, and it's so funny.
I mean, it is still a problem. There's no good solution.
Every day, I think I experience it.
We're all still talking over each other, and
he's on
people
mute,
are joining in
barking.
late, and then you got to start over. Oh my gosh.
So good. Okay, I love that. So, okay, we talked about VR and AR, which I agree with. Let's stick to what you're really good at, and that's really important. So I love that. And I'm wondering what's next. What's next for creative storytelling? We see our career as a cycle right now, and the first half of the cycle is figuring out what it is we want to create, and we create it. And then the second half of the cycle is capitalizing on it. Yeah. It's getting to the conference call and then using that as a way to make more content and help more brands. Yeah. We're back to the beginning. So 2018 is going to be a year of making more content at all costs. Good. So we've written 10 shorts. I'm working on a feature film. We have a television show out. I can't talk about that. Okay. Sounds good. And so our goal this year is to feel really excited about the content we've created and trust that will lend itself to 2019, in which we will capitalize. Yeah. You need a platform to tell that story because
and we want to be constantly reinventing ourselves creatively. Yeah. I mean, we loved making a video about conference calls, and we loved every video we've made. But there's only so many videos we want to make about business meetings. Yeah.
No, you've got to change the topic.
We're getting a little uninspired. Yeah. And my company Green Tricycle, we're continuing to grow and build relationships with agencies and brands, and I'm trying to invest myself in my team and help them become people that brands want to work with.
Yeah, that's good. What about, just quickly before I want to get you to share your contact details with our listeners, but I'm just thinking about things like webisodes. They started to get popular, and I'm wondering how...
we got some of those coming.
Yeah, I love them. And I think there's brands out there, and they're B2B brands, and I know Marriott did a very good job. Obviously, that's more of a consumer brand with webisodes, and just really candid type fun, not always fun, but just, entertaining sometimes.
We have one series that we have developed that I'm so excited about, and it's going to be right there in that conference call space. Okay.
I need to see this.
I can't talk about it because we're still pitching it, but webisodes are a thing, and we want to go back and start creating more serialized content. One of the things we get tired of is reinventing the characters and the setting every single time. It'd be fun to develop them over 10 pieces of content.
That would be good.
The 10 by 10 is the popular format now. Okay. 10 episodes, 10 minutes.
I like that. Okay.
There's entire networks that are
built
launching
for that.
to do those.
No, I agree with that. I've heard that. Okay. Well, Tripp, how can people reach you if they would like to get in touch with you?
You can email me. Just email Tripp Crosby at Gmail. Okay. 2 P's in Tripp.
Okay. Tripp, no period in between. Tripp Crosby
Tripp Crosby Gmail. My website has all that, trippcrosby.com. My YouTube channel is Tripp and Tyler. And then I have my own, Tripp Crosby. I'm Tripp Crosby on everything. Instagram. I'm really excited about Instagram right now. So follow me there.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. Definitely. I encourage people to do that, and encourage you to go and check out the different content that Tripp has created and enjoy them. And then we look forward to seeing what's going to come next. 2018 sounds like it's going to be a good
really
year
fun.
for you.
It's going to be a really silly year. Yeah. We have some silly stuff.
I'm excited about that. So, all right. Well, thank you, Tripp.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.